Boy, have I missed you guys. It has been way too long since we shot a video, but busy? I need to find a better word for busy because we were busy to the fourth power. And, of course, you know, getting a little older, got some knee injuries going on. So today we're going to do a couple of things, get you caught up on some projects. We're going to start with the animals first, and then we'll head into the garden. Morning. Good morning. We have a few more chickens than we did the last time. Aren't they pretty? Last night was their first night all together in one coop. And we have some more Rhode Island Reds. We have some Americanas, we're not sure which. But they're now big enough to be in with the big chickens, and there's quite a few. We lost a couple chickens that were older. Some of our chickens we've had for 7 years. We were discussing this with my kids, and I didn't really put together that chickens can live 7 years. I never really thought about it, I guess. But we did lose a couple of the girls just to old age. So during all this crazy upside down world that we live in now, we went ahead and we bought several more chickens. I think by the time we're done we'll have a flock of 100. We've never really had more than 25 or 30 chickens before, so with all that thought process we had to increase our infrastructure. So we'll let the cameraman pan around and we'll show you the new coop that has slowly been coming together. This should hold most of the birds, and we've got a pretty snazzy run plan in our head. Not conventional, not typical. That's what we do here, not your typical. All of the windows are reclaimed windows out of an old pickup camper, which is what we did on our first coop. So we try to recycle and reuse. It was very interesting this time getting materials in the middle of this crazy mixed up world. We couldn't find wood. So we really had to plan and get all our ducks in a row per se, to get it all together and get it built all at once. Usually we kind of piecemeal it. We buy the base and the foundation, and this time we went ahead and just bought the whole shooting match. So that we could get it up, and we should have chickens in there in the coming weeks. We'll cover more of that in a little while, but let's go finish chores. I can hear the roosters, they want out, and the chickens and the ducks. So hello, anybody awake? It's time to get up. How was your first night? Are you ready to come out and say hello? Come on, chicks. We put some of the younger birds out here yesterday. Come on, chicks. So we've got some little babies, but they don't want to come out. They're shy. Maybe later. Oh, there we go. They're not too sure about this whole new coop. We just took them out of the brooder. They were just big enough, and we hatched several chicks and some ducks. So we needed to move these little ones outside so that we had room in the brooder for the new hatchlings. So we'll move along to the next coop. Maybe they'll be a tad more social. Good morning. Wow, shy bunch. It's because I spoke to you before you had coffee, isn't it? Well, I'm drinking my coffee. There we go. Morning. Girls. They're headed down for a drink. I don't think we were able to show you this on the last. Well, I like coming out to the garden first thing in the morning. It's actually one of the best times to water and do your weeding and anything else you have to do before the sun is really intense on the plants. We didn't film it this morning, but yesterday I came out really early and I ground watered everything. We haven't had rain in like 60 days. They said we were 6 inches behind for water already this year. So we're hoping for some rain over the next couple days. But in the meantime, we're compensating. We use a lot of mulch on our beds. This is grass clippings that we sweep up after we mow, and we put it down, and it does a great job to keep the mulch, or to keep the moisture in the soil. So one of the projects I needed to do, because it got away from me, and before I knew it, we had garlic scapes. All right, I'm not sure the best way to film this. I'm looking for, okay. So this is the garlic, okay? We filmed it earlier this year. We put the bulbs in the fall. These, right here, is a garlic scape. And at the end of the garlic scape, this is actually a seed pod. And we don't want this plant to go to seed. If we wanted to save the seeds, we would let it. But you get two choices. You either get a seed pod or you get a garlic bulb. And we want the garlic bulb. So we're just gonna come in here and snip it off, just like snapping a green bean. These are delicious. You can saute them, you can make pesto with them. Don't throw these away. They're absolutely phenomenal. I've even chopped them up and dehydrated them and used them in soups. So we're gonna go through real quick, and I'm gonna snap off all of the ones I can find. And it seems like you go through and you get them and you come back in a day and there's 3 or 4 more. Those are my favorite. They curl around. They're just kind of pretty. This is a really good year for garlic. The garlic looks tall and green and healthy. So once we pull the garlic scapes off, follow me over here. We've got a whole nother bed. If I could figure out how to make some kind of an art piece with these, I would. I love painting, and I see these cool shapes and I wonder, oh my gosh, what could I do with that? Maybe some of you have an idea. I don't know. But these have curled around once already. So I should have done these a couple days ago, but we were busy and I knew I wanted to show this to you on video. Garlic, I think, is one of the easier plants to to grow if you're starting out gardening, because you put it in the fall like you do tulips or daffodils, and you just leave it. There's not a whole lot to do until it comes up in the spring, and you water it, you mulch it, you weed it, and it just grows. There's not a lot of bugs that like it. Deer don't really like it, and there's so much you can do with it. We did the video on dehydrating garlic. I think I started growing garlic, I would say in 2000, maybe even 2000. I think some of my first gardens had garlic, and I didn't realize how easy it was to grow. And I've never, very rarely have I had to buy bulb garlic. So look at all this beautiful garlic scapes. We started a CSA this year, so we're going to put these in the fridge and share these with our CSA people who are helping us to continue to do infrastructure in the farm and on the garden. And we sincerely appreciate the people that have donated. If you want to donate to our projects, please feel free. On our home YouTube page, there's a PayPal link. It was really helpful for getting that coop up and running. We thank you profusely. That's been one of the biggest challenges when you have a farm, is there's so many things that need done, and we stopped doing projects for about 5 years. So we have a lot that we need to repair and to get caught up. I want to show you one more garlic scape, because I think it's really cool how our creator has a special way of kind of winking at you and saying, see, come here. So this is a garlic plant that apparently I forgot to harvest last year. This was filled with garlic. I don't know if you can see this.
Hang on.
It looks like a pretzel. And I just left. I'm like, Lord, you are just so awesome. I've never seen a garlic scape do that, so I wanted to share that with you. And even though I forgot to harvest it, it looks like it's going to produce a couple of bulbs there. Because when you plant them, you plant individual cloves, and there were 6 or 8 there. They're doing well. So that's one of those added plantings that I didn't intend for, but I'm very thankful that it's there. So we're gonna pan around. I'm not sure how we're gonna end up putting this video together. I shot a video a week or 2 ago, quickly, in the midst of everything else. So I'm going to have our cameraman pan around and show you. Eric Gimbel from the Deliberate Agrarian had a great experiment of a new gardening technique that we decided to try this year, because working full-time and everything else, it's really hard for me to keep up with all the gardening. So I'm going to pan around and show you how our new section of the garden is doing. So in here we've got garden beds. There's black plastic in between, which so far it's really dry. The dirt that is in the beds is really dry. We haven't planted this one, but the ground underneath where I'm standing is still spongy. So there's a lot of moisture trapped underneath here, which is very exciting. So we have all our tomatoes on our cattle panels here, and this whole area is for squash. We've got some zucchini and some yellow squash, and then down here, this whole section is all pumpkins and blue hubbard and spaghetti squash and buttercup squash. So this is our winter squash patch, and in past years I put tarps down and we did it very freestyle, so I'm very excited. They're going to fill in this whole area and not have to compete with weeds at all. So it's looking great. It's looking absolutely beautiful. We added some compost when we planted them. You dig a big hole, you put in a bunch of compost, and you plant your squash, and they absolutely love it. So anything else we want to show them? We can give you a
Tom's garden.
Oh yeah, we can head down to, we did a tilled area too. So hang on, we'll be right back with you. One of the joys of growing heirloom tomatoes is, I don't know if you can see the, yeah, I hate that phrase, sorry. Here we have a very oddly shaped tomato. I don't remember which plant this is, but it almost looks like a pear or a pear shape. It's not round like these ones are, but these tomatoes are very happy, looking good. Well, still have my garlic scapes. So this is my son's project. He tilled this entire area, and we're growing, as you can see, corn, and we've got wood chips down. If you dig down, that is some nice moist soil. This is another way to garden. I believe there's a video, Back to Eden, is the method, and we did that a couple years ago. Wood chips aren't always easy to come by, so we did get a load, yay, and we've been putting the wood chips down, and the corn seems to really like it. It's keeping the moisture intact. We've got a whole section of lettuce over there that we're going to be harvesting this week, and some more tomatoes, and that's about it. Oh, how should we show the deer fence? Let's come on over in the corner. There you go. Okay, so this is a Cortland apple tree, and it looks sad. This Cortland apple tree is about 4.5, 5 years old, but it has really been eaten by the deer. The deer have done a number on our fruit trees. It's just kind of sad. We put a lot of time into planting these, and the one that's right over here looks even sadder. But this is the bottom of our field, and deer are a definite, they're in competition with us. So what we did this year, because we were seeing damage early, I'll see if our cameraman here, T-Rex, can zoom in. We not only have the 5-foot fence that we put up a couple years ago, but that was not stopping them anymore. So now we have gone up 3 strands with electric, because I'm kind of done sharing the garden, especially in this crazy mixed up world. So I am 5 feet tall, and the deer were jumping this, so we had to go up a lot higher. And I'm not going to touch it. We can ask T-Rex. He found out it was hot the other day. The bottom one and the top one are live, the middle one is not. But so far, and we have another one running right along the outside edge. And so far, it's working. So we've lost last year we lost almost all the tomatoes and all the green beans for the first part of the season. They just came through and they just picked them off. I've never seen anything like it. So we're excited that this year, hopefully, we'll get a good crop to share and to harvest. I don't know if you can see this, cameraman. Sorry. I gotta stop saying that. I'll work on it. So this plant, which is actually beautiful, is borage. And we're hoping it'll come back every year. Our goal is to have bees at some point, so we're starting planting a borage here, and we've got another one down at the end of the grapes. This is our grape arbor. We started this when I think it was the second year we lived here in Connecticut, and it's been a fight up until the last few years. We started out with some local Concord grapes that we dug up, and they started, and then they ended up getting trampled. The goats got them a couple times, but we ended up finally moving them here, and they are very happy. A lot of new growth. We've got quite a few clusters that are going to form into grapes, so very excited. One of the things I was just learning about is that, I guess maybe I knew it, but grape leaves are edible, obviously, because you can make stuffed grape leaves, but never really considered. So we've been reading books about wild edibles, and this is one of the things. I was like, yay, we have grapes. So we're going to experiment with those a little bit. Last year we got several grapes. We have a seedless red, we have a seedless white, and we have old-fashioned Concord seeded grapes. So we'll be making jam, and I don't know, maybe we'll try our hand at some homemade wine this year. Haven't done that before, so always expanding skills. And then this is the back side of the coop where we're going to put the runs. And it's going to be very exciting. We're going to work on rotating the birds so that we can give them more compost and more fresh grass, and we'll have more on that later. This is our hydroponic tomatoes, and we have a fence around this because, again, the deer. We have our first tomato that looks like it's starting to turn, and I believe these are all Amish paste, except maybe some of the ones on the end. We've got lettuce down here that's ready to harvest. This has been Asian cabbage, but because of the heat it went to seed. That's what the flowers are. And then at the very end we're experimenting with putting some cucumbers in hydroponics. So far I would say our hydroponic experiment this year has been 100% successful. We've harvested multiple heads of lettuce and Swiss chard and kale, and the tomatoes are coming. Oh, and green beans. So let's head in and we'll give you a closer look. So as you can see, they're doing very, very well. We've got lots of little tomatoes on this plant. And if we pan just over here, you can see the lettuce. Isn't this amazing? We don't even have a lettuce in the garden. It's just as a seedling. But these they taste delicious, they're sweet, they're not bitter, and absolutely amazing. I'm very, very pleased. We even have some basil. And you can see the coloration is starting to turn. All of these plants take a lot out of the system when they're this big. So we'll be harvesting these in the next couple days. And that's pretty much it, is it?
No,
Here, come on in a little bit further, and we'll look at some of the
blossom clusters.
Yeah, the blossom cluster. This is the blonde Compton. Here, let me put my stuff down. Can you see those clusters? We videoed them a while ago, and they've almost all have turned to tomatoes. Not all. We come in here periodically and brush up against the plant because it's not outside, and tomatoes actually are self-pollinating. So if you look at this flower, all you need to do is just wiggle it a little bit and it self-pollinates. The bees help, obviously, but even if you don't have bees, just brushing your tomato plants will help you get more fruit. And we have some kale down in here, but these clusters are just crazy. And I don't know if I can reach in here. I don't think I can.
Yep.
But we have green beans that are very happy. We've gotten a handful of green beans off of there. You know, it's not without issue. We have one tomato here that had blossom end rot, and it's malformed. which,
That's a Canner Hoel.
yeah, this is a Canner Hoel, which is a new one for us. But you
No.
can actually see the seed cavity, which is very unique.
It's known for deformed fruit.
Yeah, a lot of the heirlooms have very unique flavor, very unique looks to them. They're not your typical grocery store perfect tomatoes, which just makes them, I don't know, cool. I just ordered seeds for a really awesome cherry tomato that's iridescent, and I'm excited to get that and get it started so we can have some of those this year. Now we're gonna put them in the, ooh, hold on, look, our first tomato,
Oh,
our first yellow tomato, woohoo! All right, so we'll end the video here. We are sitting at 9,890 subscribers. It's been slow. We haven't been doing videos. We've been busy. We've had a lot going on with the farm and work and life. So we're still creeping up there, and we're still getting postcards, so thank you. I'll post the address below. It's not too late. We're still going to do the drawing right after we hit 10,000, so we'll give everybody a grace period. We're going to give you some great goodies. We'd love to hear from you. We've really enjoyed all the postcards, the feedback, what to include, what not to include. That's what we want to do. We want to give you what you're looking for. So, garden on.